Hey, it's Bill DeWeese with a very important question for you, which is which voiceover game are you playing? And there's really only two choices. And when I say game, I'm really talking about business plan. How do you approach and make no mistake, voiceover, it is a business. If you're not treating it like a business, you're treating it like a hobby, and the results you're getting will reflect that. So when we talk about game, what are we talking about? There's really only two games to be played in voiceover. And if I may use a baseball analogy, because it's the best way that I can think of to explain it, you're either playing it as the home run derby or you are hitting for average. Allow me to explain. If you talk to somebody who is what I will refer to as a voiceover traditionalist, kind of old school, been doing it for decades, and they're still kind of set in the way that the business used to be, the way it used to be run 20, 30, or so years ago. At that time and place, the game could really only be played one way, and that is through a union and with an agent or agents and competing for larger regional and national level jobs. Not that there weren't other ones out there, but because media was so expensive to create, unlike today, there just weren't as many opportunities available. And so, over the years, that was what people become accustomed to. If I want to get into voiceover, I've got to get an agent. I have to be available to drive into my agent's office or a studio, which would be the nearest major metropolitan area, and sit in a room with 50, 100 people to audition. If I was lucky enough to get the job, I would have to take the day off work and drive back into the city, go to the studio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you were always swinging for the fences, the home run derby, and it was all or nothing for the most part. Today, because business has changed so dramatically based on technology, and I could get into a whole thing about that. But, now we use Uber oftentimes instead of taxi. We use computers instead of typewriters. And I could go on and on and on. Technology has completely revolutionized and disrupted the way we do business. It's cheaper and easier to be connected. And so today, and really the business plan that I promote, that I advocate, that I use, that I teach my students, is hitting for average. So instead of swinging for the fences all the time, and by the way, there's only a few people, whether it's in baseball or in voiceover, that can hit enough home runs to really sustain a career. There are some people who do that only do work through union channels, through agency channels, and they're able to make a good living. That's a pretty small group of people, and those opportunities are limited. But when we talk about hitting for average, I'm talking about hitting singles, doubles, triples, occasionally getting the home run. And in my business, with my business model, I still do national ads, I do regional ads, I do the big jobs. But if I was depending solely on those big gigs, frankly, that would have to be my side job. I could not make a living at this. So I'm able to have a very profitable business and have a very comfortable lifestyle because I hit for average. Because today, because of how cheap and easy media is to create, there's so many other opportunities, not only in terms of broadcast, local and medium-sized markets, but in terms of corporate and internal, and on and on and on the list goes. So what I suggest is hit for average. Yes, get an agent or two or three. I've got like 14 agents right now, but it accounts for less than 2% of my overall income. The reason I'm able to be as profitable as I am is because I understand my voiceover game is hitting for average. So I directly communicate and directly market to the end user of voiceover. Therefore, I hit a lot of singles and doubles and triples. And when I hit the home run and I get the really, really big, fat, juicy job, it's gravy. I never depend on it. And the good news is you can do the same thing. It's never been simpler. Now, it's work, so don't misunderstand me. You don't just set up a microphone and all of a sudden people line up to hire you to record voiceovers. You have to have a game plan, a business plan, and you have to be willing to execute that plan on a consistent basis. And if you would like to learn more about that and learn the details of crafting your strategy, your game plan, your business plan, I encourage you to check out voiceovertrainingnow.com. I'll put a link down below in the description. But remember, you don't have to do the old home run derby where it's all or nothing, and if you can't hit enough home runs, you can't make a living. Those days are past. Today, you can hit for average. There is a lot of work out there. The question is, do you understand the rules of the game so that you can get that work? Thanks for checking out the video. Again, I encourage you to check out voiceovertrainingnow.com. Take care.